Welcome, everybody, to Who's Your Band? I am Jeffrey Paul. I am joined by my co-host, Sean Morton. How are you, Sean?
I'm wonderful, sweetie pie. How are you today?
I'm good. Good. Busy weekends. This has been a busy month, man.
I tell you.
Yeah, last week, Laughingstock, for the first time, we did a show in Atlantic City.
Oh, wow.
There was a teachers convention going on, and we had Gaspar Randazzo headlining, and I mean, we sold this thing out.
I didn't realize you produced that show, to be honest. I thought that was they hired him and then he brought you into open.
No.
That's awesome. Great job.
I mean, I'm working with him in the weekend of Thanksgiving up in Poughkeepsie. But no, we produced that show, and it turned out to be one of many shows it looks like we're going to be doing in Atlantic City. We're probably going to do probably start off about 4 a year. But it looked good. Then I was out in Pittsburgh over the weekend, and that was awesome. I saw you were down somewhere. Where were you this weekend?
Yeah, I had a show up in Indian Lake, up in like Parsippany area. Beautiful little show I've done a couple times. It's this private clubhouse. Like everybody from the Indian Lake community goes there. Beautiful, pretty much sold out show. Scott Brennan put it together. It was me, Jackie Byrne, who I haven't seen in a very long time. It was great. Monty Mason did great. Another guy I closed it out. And then it was a guy before me who I never saw before. It was Tony Rogers. Did you ever work with him?
Oh, plenty of times, sure.
Yeah, great dude. And then I closed it out. And I mean, everybody, all four comics we just had a great show.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, that's a good show. That's a good show. Solid lineup in spite of you. But anyway, so a couple of weeks ago, did you see what I did there, Sean?
Yeah, I was trying to be nice because I don't know this guest. He doesn't know who I am. I'm trying to give a good first impression by not berating you. And you had to be the first person to be a weaker person. You were a weaker person tonight.
I did. I pulled a Sean Morton is what I did.
You did.
I just had this conversation today with my wife about what a Sean Morton is. But a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you know this about me, Sean. I could be a little bit of a geek, a nerd. And I like movies. I like horror movies. And I like going to this chiller theater. Now, I haven't been able to go for the last couple of years because it's always on the weekend. And it's always a weekend that I'm away. Well, This year, I was free on the Friday. And so I was like, you know what? Unless something comes that's going to blow my socks off, I really want to go. I like to look at like the memorabilia and the T-shirts.
And this is the first Friday that I did not go.
You see? And I went. And when I go, you know me, I sit and I talk to everybody. I want to get to know people's story. And I came across a couple of guys who are screenwriters. And they're very interesting guys. And one of them I invited on the show. So without further ado, we have a screenwriter. First time I think we've had a screenwriter on the show. Let us introduce Nathan Waire. Nathan, how are you?
Yeah, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? My stage name is Nathan Zen-Sapien. You know what I'm saying? So I know that's like the longer version, but Nathan Waire will do. All right.
That's what it says here on the books.
On the books. So literally
on the plays.
Yeah, but you know what's kind of funny? You know what's kind of funny about that? When you go on Amazon, some of them when you type in Nathan Waire, it won't pop up. But if you type in Nathan Zen-Sapien, they'll pop up. All of them will pop up. They're all like, because they had on Amazon, they let you put more than one name for your book. And for some reason, Nathan Waire, for some reason, didn't pop up when the book came up when they were being activated. So I don't know. It's like this trust in Nathan Zen-Sapien if you want to find everything.
Yeah, see, Jeff, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but we're doing this show close to 7 years now, right? I think it's or 6. Going on 6, right? When we do the show, it says the guy's fucking name right on the bottom, and you're calling him something different. Why don't you read what the fucking guy wants to go by and say it like that?
Listen, I don't care what it says on the bottom. Okay,
It's on the book.
I'm going. What's on the book?
Don't play
I don't
Nathan.
know this
I tried
Nathan
to be
Waire.
nice.
I don't.
I tried to be nice
I don't
tonight.
know what he does, but the thing is, this is what it says on it. But Nate,
Yeah.
so screenwriting. Sean and I are, besides being comedians, and obviously we love music. That's what our show is supposed to be about. We're also huge movie guys. We both love movies as well. How does one get into actually writing a screenplay?
Well, you know what? That is the weirdest thing because I didn't start off from that. When I lived out in the Midwest, I thought that entertainment was garbage. I made fun of whenever the Oscars and stuff came out like that. I would make fun of them. I would just watch the red carpet to say this guy is weak and this guy looks stupid. And it's like when I moved out east, my sister actually went ahead and she had a master's in rehabilitation counseling. Long story short, instead of getting a good job, she went ahead and she got an acting job while I was working out east as all these shipping jobs and shipping plants and stuff like that and factories. And she actually made more money than I did with her one-day gigs than I was making all week long at the shipping joints. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I think I should become an actor. So that was how I started off. I started off acting. And I got a couple really good gigs at the beginning. But it's like after about 10 years of acting, I came across this guy named W.S.S. Simmons, who was teaching, how to make a movie from pre-production all the way through post-production. And it was a weekend course. It was that quick, you know what I'm saying? He's teaching at UCLA right now, which is the opposite of what he told us to do, right? He said, don't go to college to learn this. Just go ahead and start filming. But he gave us the whole, this over this weekend, he gave us this whole spiel of how to write and go into pre-production and stuff like that. And it sounded so simple. I started up, and sure enough, my first screenplay was actually filmed and shot in Times Square. And the second one was actually filmed. It was a 3-minute short, and it placed on MSN for like 6 months on their contest site. So it was just one of those things where it was like nature was guiding me along the course. Every time I went to do a normal job, every time I went to do something that was normal quotation marks normal, I got my ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? So it's the kind of thing where it just turns out it was easier for me to go ahead and do this creative stuff and actually eke out a living and then do the normal stuff on the side. You know what I'm saying? And that way I could pay my bills and eat my food and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was getting more accolades and getting more pushed further and further into the business. So yeah.
Hey, what kind of acting were you doing?
My first, believe it or not, I didn't realize this, and this is something that's kind of funny. The first audition I did, they liked it, and they gave me all these little tokens of it was weird. It was like I never had that happen before because I never did an audition before, and they gave me all this stuff. And then like 2 weeks later, they called me up and said, "We're sorry you didn't get the role. We had to give it to somebody else." And I was like, "So you mean I had the role?" And they was like, "That was the reason why we gave you all that stuff." You know what I'm saying? I had the role. But anyway, I didn't know that. So a week after that, literally a week after that, they called me. I went and I did an audition for HBO, and it's like after doing a series of auditions with HBO, I got my first legitimate gig with HBO. So it was the kind of thing where it was a thing they showed in their hotels as a promo. It was called Movies You Won't See on HBO, right? And I was in Aliens 13. So it's the kind of thing where it was supposed to be like a spoof, like they would never make Aliens 13. And like right now, they're getting kind of close to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like eventually that they will actually make the actual, the things they were saying they wouldn't do in that spoof was actually what they're actually doing right now. And who knew sequels would be so hot, you know what I'm saying? That's how long ago it was. It was back in the early 2000s when I was doing that. Yeah.
Hey, did it get you into SAG?
No, because it's like that was one of the things that I didn't know. I was such a newbie at the time that I didn't know I should have asked for a SAG waiver. And it's like some of the other guys who were actors with me in that particular skit were asking for waivers. And I was like, I was just so embarrassed by the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I was such a new guy to the acting field that I just left, you know what I'm saying? And I realized years later, I should have probably asked for a SAG waiver, even though they said, I found out like from another guy that who worked on that particular project that I met in an acting school. He said, well, it's just like 6 years after that, he said, oh, yeah, they didn't give any waivers even though people asked for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't know that that was a way that you could get into SAG by getting 3 waivers and then actually,
Right.
you know, they would let you into SAG. So, no, I never made it into SAG, but I did get a manager with IFM. You know, it was right on schedule too. They say it takes about 10 years to get a manager or agent, and I got one. You know, literally at the 10-year mark, I got an agent, not agent but a manager with IFM.
Okay. So, but you switch gears and you wind up going into actually making film. Did you start making shorts and videos, or did you go just jump right into full-length films?
Well, that's just it. It's still at a short length. You know, because it seems like it's a process where you have to take your time with what you're doing and you have to make connections, right? So, the first film I did was a 3-minute film called, it was based on a book that I had written earlier called Boy, right? And I relabeled it as Nothing instead of giving, because I couldn't advertise the book. Yeah, that was basically it. Yeah, and I went ahead, I did a short, and that was the one that won on MSN. You know what I'm saying? So it's the kind of thing where
Wait.
I got encouraged.
It won what?
On MSN Network, the Microsoft Network, MSN.
Okay, and and it won. It won something.
Yeah, it was like $1,500, which was pretty big back then, and also 6 months as one of the top contenders on that particular site for that particular contest, which was the Wo Eagle contest, which meant the one on Earth is going on. That's how confusing the 3-minute short was. You know what I'm saying? It was interesting enough that people said one on Earth was going on and kept it alive for 6 months.
How hard is it to get financing for anything today? But especially with what you're doing.
It's very difficult. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why and this is like a joke, but it's also the truth. They say most of the financing comes from the dental field. You know what I'm saying? It's like
from
literally
the dental field.
Yeah, the dentists and doctors, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's like you make connections with the people who have a little bit extra cash or are interested in becoming producers, and you literally say, you want to be a producer on my film, and that's how you get them pulled in. You know what I'm saying? So it's the kind of thing where if you're not going directly to a studio, you have to use any connection you can make. And also, this is one of the things where I think it's really interesting. I'm just plugging them, but there's a site called Stage32.com, Stage32.com. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, Stage32.com is really hot because it's like you go on that, you can sign up and get an account for free. But what happens is that they have this kind of pay for play type access to studio executives, right? So literally, I went ahead and I took my pitch deck for this particular book right here, which just came out last week, actually, called Human Game, right? And I didn't give you Human Game because it wasn't even out yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yet.
Yeah, it came out. It came out November 4th or something like that. But anyway, so I went ahead and I gave the pitch deck to an executive at MGM. She looked at it. She liked it a lot. You know what I'm saying? She loved it. I don't want to, put words in her mouth, but she really liked it a lot. And I said, what should I do about, getting this development? Do you want to see the script? And she said, yes, she wanted to see the script. I showed her the script. And long story short, just this past Monday, she went ahead and she said that her team is looking at it. And in about 2 weeks' time, they'll tell me if they're going to make it into a television series. So it's a kind
Oh
of
my
thing
God!
where
Listen. I remember who put you on that show early on before you
I
were somebody.
mean, if you
Okay?
guys do acting, I mean, it's like I'm literally focused on the fact that even though
I'm a
she's in California, the script,
I'm a
the
SAG
TV.
actor, my friend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's literally, I told her already, I said, I want this to be filmed in Jersey. And Jersey has some of the best incentives for filming right now, right? So it's like, it's for television and for filming, it has one of the best incentives in all the country. You know what I'm saying? They're one of the best. So it's the kind of thing where it's more likely if she goes ahead and she okays it with her team, we'll be filming in Jersey, man. Next
Well,
year,
listen,
that's literally
I
within a
don't.
couple of months, we'll be filming in Jersey a TV series. So,
Well, I don't know if I told you this when I met you, and we very rarely bring it up on this show, but I was in the movie The Irishman.
oh wow,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
So I did get to work with Scorsese, which leads me to a question, man. Who are some of your influences?
Well, my
What kind of
favorite,
movies you like?
my favorite director, two directors are Kubrick. Kubrick passed, and so did Akira Kurosawa. I love their style. Akira Kurosawa went ahead and took Shakespearean stuff and he put it into his own culture and he turned it into this great grand theater.
You know
And
these
it's
guys,
like,
Sean.
huh?
I mean, asking
What'd you
Sean.
say?
Sean, you know these directors. I just want Sean to talk like that.
Stanley
Yeah.
Kubrick. Stanley
I know
Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick. He directed one of my favorite. He directed The Shining.
The Shining, exactly. That was brilliant, and it was like so weird that
Brilliant.
Stephen King doesn't like that version of The
Stephen
Shining.
King. Yeah, because Stephen King is an asshole. Great writer, but I mean, come on, man. The Shining is one of those. It's one of those stories where the book is great and the movie is great, just
Yeah.
like the movie. But you know what sucked though? So Nicholson is great in The Shining. Sean, you saw The Shining, right?
A million times.
Okay, great movie. Okay, Nicholson, amazing in The Shining. Then they decide in the mid 2000s to turn into a TV series.
Oh,
Okay,
that
now how
sucks
would you
so
like?
bad.
Yeah,
That
how would you
sucks
like
so
to get the
bad.
phone call saying, "Hey, look, we're going to put you on a reoccurring TV series. The only thing is, you're going to be playing the Nicholson part in The Shining," and that actor was Steven Weber from Wings.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who's a great actor.
He's a good actor.
He's actually a decent actor, but it was kind of a far stretch. I think that Stephen King himself actually was the one who pulled that out of his hat. You know what I'm saying? Because he wanted it closer to the book, so that was the reason why he
Did
picked a
he
character
direct
like
it?
that. Yeah, he
Did he?
actually. I know he casted it. So that's the reason why it was. I know, but it's like in comparison to the movie was like a time capsule, perfect film. You know what I'm saying? It was absolutely one of the. It's a classic horror film. It's got to be in the top 5 horror films ever. You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree. I agree. And like, I'm a big horror fan too. So I feel like a lot of times it goes into like different kinds of kind of like with music, it goes in different waves and eras with horror, and sometimes, some of the movies you see 15 years ago don't really hold up. But The Shining came out more than 45 years ago, right?
It came out 45. It came out in 1980.
Right. So it's over 45 years ago. And that shit is still as scary as it was 45 years ago.
I know that's the scariest thing. It was everything from the way they were dressed to the placement of the objects in the film. Everything about it was just like perfect because you literally have people dressed like that today. You know what I'm saying? And you go on to and then go on the countryside, and it's like there was nothing about it that didn't make it timeless. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was encapsulated in this one little period, and it was like you could definitely see even the car they drove up in. You know what I'm saying? It was amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Like even still now, like even the carpet, that stupid ugly carpet that they got that Danny drives on, that's like a pop culture icon, that print. Like they have shirts with that friggin' print and all kinds of shit with it. It's really held the test of time.
What was it about the two little girls that made them so creepy? I mean, they weren't like ugly or anything, but was it the talking in unison that just kind of like, remember how freaky
they were
were?
dead. The whole idea
I
is
know
that
they were
everybody
dead.
they saw, everybody in that place was murdered in that place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the kind
I think
of
it was
thing
their
where
big foreheads, actually. They had gigantic foreheads.
They did. I think it's
But,
something about two girls talking in unison, in a British accent. That's just so freaking creepy, right?
It is, well, first of all, listen, any woman talking is really fucking annoying to begin with. You got to have two of them that are going to be talking at the same time and saying the same things at the same time. Just fucking kill yourself.
well, you know what's kind of good about that? In my book, The Choice, one of the books I gave you, The Choice, there are twins. I did take a note from Shining. The Shining. There are twins in there. They're supposed to be representing duality. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about heaven and hell, and it's a parody on heaven and hell, and it's like literally it's talking about duality, and the twins pop up throughout the entire piece. You know what I'm saying? We were trying to film that this summer, but things just fell through with everything. Everything fell through. You know what I'm saying? My mom passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was like at the same time that happened, the person who was the primary investor took a heavy hit because of the tariffs in the second quarter. And we were filming in the second quarter. And that was the kind of thing where they told me they were have to wait a little bit longer before they started giving us the money. And we were already knee deep. So I had to pull out, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
yeah, it's one of those things where.
I do know what you're saying. I do. But this is what I don't think people understand. But they may not understand what you're saying. Okay, when you talk about like investors pull out because of the tariffs, they don't realize how these things affect creative people like yourself.
Sure.
Because you're relying on it on investors with disposable income to put money into a project like this. And it doesn't have to be one investor; it could be a couple of investors. But when it goes across the board, it really hurts an independent filmmaker like yourself. Correct?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And that's the reason why I've kind of made sure this time around I'm going to bring. That's why I pushed Stage 32. I went ahead and I contacted everybody. You know what I'm saying? Who wanted to be a part of this, and literally having an MGM executive come on board was one of the best things because I know if she accepts the project, her team accepts the project, money is not going to be an issue. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, it won't be an issue.
I do know what you're saying here, but Nathan, you got to hear what I'm saying now. Right? I think that if you're going to tip your cap to The Shining, I think you have to have a scene in one of your movies where you have an attractive woman come out of a bathtub with a real big '70s bush. You understand? You know what I'm saying? I think in 2025, I think America wants that. Okay, enough with the landing strip. Yeah, enough with the bald, enough with the landing strip. We want like a fire crotch. That's what we're talking, right?
Sean, do you agree with this? Sean, do you agree with this?
Well, I believe you really shouldn't see a lot of gash when you're looking at a horror movie.
You don't like gash in movies?
No, in a horror movie, I think you do have to have bush.
You gotta have it.
I think bush is necessary.
All right, especially how freaky was that scene? I love The Shining, but how freaky was that scene when she's walking to him and he's hugging her and he's kissing her and he looks in the mirror and she turns into that old
lady.
Oh man, what? See, that's a great scene in a movie, right?
Well, you know what's kind of interesting? The person at the Chiller Fest that was sitting next to me, Brian and Wixon.
Yeah.
He writes nothing but horror. You know what I'm saying? He has one in particular. He'll probably talk to you about if you get him on the set. There's a thing about supermodels going to basically going to a special location to be filmed. And it turns out that they end up being cannibalized. You know what I'm saying? So it's the kind of thing where it's really an outrageously interesting, but it's like you talk about seeing bush. With supermodels, they wouldn't have that much bush, but it's like, you would definitely get guys from that, right? So yeah, man.
So tell me, like, what are your few favorite horror movies that have come out in the last few years?
in the last few years. Wow. You know what's one that you know what I'm keep putting it off, but on streaming they have Alien Earth, and it's like
Okay.
I really want I want to sit down and just watch it without having people tell me what's going on, because I had so many people tell me, you know, what's happening with each episode, and that was the reason why I stopped. I didn't even watch the first episode. You know what I'm saying? It kind of ruined it for me. But it's the kind of thing where I know if I just, you know, especially during the winter months when it's like when it gets called around New Year's, I might just sit down and just stream the entire thing and just see what it's really all about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing Alien Earth. But
Okay.
yeah, man. And it's like you know, as for horror, I find myself writing more like thriller and mystery. You know what I'm saying? So it's the kind of thing where a lot of my stories are dark in nature, but it turns out that they actually have either a glimmer of hope or some sort of twist in it where you go, the audience is going to flip on that one. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of the books in particular is, you know.
I know what you're saying. But in either one of these two, okay, in the Leporterian, I'm not sure I'm saying that wrong.
The Pedopteran.
The Pedopteran. Okay, that just kind of flows off your tongue. The Pedopteran. I couldn't say it. But was there any chance? Was there any chance of having a naked woman with a full bush? Is there any way? If we could adapt, if we can now put that into this, like if we were to film it and we say, look, I like what you're doing here, Nathan. I like the choice. I like the boy, but we have to. It needs something. Would you be able to write a scene?
Of course,
with a woman with full bush.
Hold on, I'm gonna back Jeff up on the Bush comment here. Okay, so what is the biggest horror franchise of the last 5-10 years? Terrifier, right? One of the biggest scenes in those movies is when he has the girl naked, completely upside down like a starfish, right? And you see full bush in that scene.
That's so
full
hot,
bush, but then he takes the chainsaw and slices her in half from the vagina.
That's a waste. That's a waste.
Mm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Nathan?
Yeah.
You know, you have like a
hot chicken killer. That's my only beef with the horror films. You know what I'm saying? It's like, of course, the hot chick has to die a brutal death.
I know,
but I'm just not. I'm not a fan of that so much. You know what I'm saying? I always try.
That kind of stuff, that doesn't bother. I can watch that kind of stuff and laugh. But like the psychological shit that because I know that can't happen.
But the psychological stuff
that's why
is what gets you, right? You should read my books, man.
So like
you should read my books.
I know there's no Michael Myers. Like I know that doesn't exist. I know there's no fucking Jason Voorhees. I know there's no killing clowns. I know there's no I know all that shit's fake. So I can watch that and I can laugh my bush off. You know what I mean? But like when it comes to psychological shit or things that I know can happen, that's what fucking scares the shit out of me with horror. That's the kind of stuff that I love.
It's definitely
Nathan. You're kind of into music. Have you ever heard of the band Bush?
Yeah. You know what's kind of interesting?
Right?
We're still talking about music real quick. I have with me a bag full of records, right? That I pulled out of storage.
Right.
And I just wanted to know what you thought of the few that I
so we
got.
Classic. Hey, what do I think? Hold on.
Wait, who's that? El DeBarge?
Wow.
Wait, that's not El DeBarge.
That's Prince.
El DeBarge. He actually does. He does look like El DeBarge.
El DeBarge. You know, El DeBarge did at one time try, and I'm not making this up. He did try to be the lead singer in Bush. A lot of people don't know that. Oh, that's a great one. Look at that, Queen Gray's Hits.
Yep.
That's some good vinyl.
Well, you know what it is? I just found all the vinyl in my storage. So it's like it's from when we were living in Chicago, and it's like back in the 80s, we liked music, so we had I literally got like 30 or 40, albums just sitting here. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're all from that time era. So it's like Donna Summer, the early 70s, the late 70s, David Bowie, Donna Summer, Prince, what's that? REO
Kate
Speedwagon.
Bush.
Kate Bush. Kate Bush. Running up that hill.
But yeah, man.
Hey, Nate,
Go ahead.
Do you use?
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, do you use? No, I want to talk a little bit about your movies as well, and then we could go back to talking about Bush and Kate Bush and all kind of Bush. But do you
Yes,
use music in your films?
In fact,
And how do you go about that? Because don't you have to pay for licensing? So is it original music? And if it is original music, do you come up with it, or do you have somebody?
Well,
who
I
does
used
that
to do
for you?
music back in the day, right? So I did one piece that I keep using in my films over and over again. But for the Pact, right? You saw the Pact and the book, The Pact. The 20 minute, the Pact, the 20 minute short, right, has like 5 different artists in it, right? And I did it. I contacted them all from the East Coast to the West Coast, through contacts I had, and I contacted them all and told them it's like, would you want exposure for your career? And all you had to do is sign the contract, and I would put your music, the music that I thought was appropriate from your collections into the film. And sure enough, in a 20 minute short, you hear original pieces from this one, oh my goodness, from Vilma Vega. It's such a long time ago that I remember doing this one. Vilma Vega, Kim Delonia, no, Kim DeLeon Stuglam Fox. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
Kim Leon. I know him.
yeah, so it's like I've got music from all of them, and then it was for free. It was just for exposure. Yeah, in
He
the
had
pack,
music in the Pact.
right?
In the Pact. Yeah,
I do know what you're saying though, because when you don't know this, but last year I taped my first comedy special, and Jeff was great on the show with me. And so for the release, I wanted to use my favorite band's record, and it would have cost $12,000 for 35 seconds.
That's
so I had friends of mine who were in a band, and they said, "Here, take this." And I listened to it, fell in love with it. And that was the walkout music, and that was the theme music for the special.
That's how you have to do. That's excellent. That's you're an independent filmmaker already, man.
But that,
yeah.
But Nate, that's the thing that people who aren't in the business, you know what I'm saying, is that they don't understand. You know what I mean, right?
There's so many loopholes. Like, I don't know if you heard this. Like, just those kind of royalties can make people's careers. I read it. I don't know if I read it or saw it on TV. So the guy we talked about it, didn't we, with Devo?
Yeah,
no, we talk about Devo.
I'm sure Devo,
yeah.
Like Whip It Good. That Whip It Good song played.
Yeah, but they have it's the song from Ridiculousness, the TV show.
Yes, you did bring that up. And you were saying they make like $1 million a year
just from it playing on a TV show that's on a loop 24/7.
That's right. And they've been doing this for years.
Yep, there is so much money involved with music licensing. It's unbelievable.
The Chiller Expo?
What's that?
What about
Devo was there.
What about it?
They were. They had a couple of guys dressed like.
Oh, were they? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You talk about guys. I think you meant like the real people. Yeah, they had guys. Well,
they were
around Halloween.
They were signing things of like records or something.
And then you know
like
what was going on. Oh, that's pretty crazy. Right across the street there was something called Chill Out.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like supposedly it was like a spite show because.
Oh yeah, 100%. The company that puts that together does big conventions out in New York. And I went to one a bunch of years ago when it was mostly just sports athletes. And I think I went to one in
By the way, the gayest way of saying that. Sports athletes?
No, No, it was. I went to say it was mostly about sports and athletes, but now it's gotten into more pop culture. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I meant to
just
say.
chill out. They had Gene Simmons there. They
Yeah,
had Anne Margaret. They had some really like Alec Baldwin, Mario
they had
Bosco,
big.
who was on the
They had
show.
big, they had big names. They really had big names, but really kind of shitty. If Chiller's in Parsippany, and then Chill Out is in Whippany, it's really easy for anybody who doesn't know where they're going to go to the wrong one if they're not
Sean, it
careful.
was less than 10 minutes away. I was going to go over to the other one, but I was debating whether I should try and get on this line for Huey Lewis, who was signing autographs. Like, I would love to have met Huey Lewis, but the line wasn't moving. And I was like, well,
Chiller was $40 to get in. Chill Out was $10 to get in.
That's
and
true.
you got a free concert at the end of the night with Jeff Hardy, the wrestler, with his band.
Wow, I would pay $40 not to go to that concert to see and his band. I don't need to see a wrestler singing. But yours truly did not have to pay to get into Chiller.
I don't pay either, but
I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
But it was very nice to walk around and meet people, and I got to meet Nathan and
Brian,
there was another screenwriter right next to him. Are you guys friends?
We've known each other and actually worked. He's actually worked in several of my films. So it's like if you look at the which one was it? Oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember the name. Was it the pack? No, it was the precursor to the pack called The Park. He's actually playing a doctor character in there. He's also in Human Game, in the Human Game trailer, like sizzle reel. You'll see him playing the police detective and everything. So it's like he's been a good friend with me all these years. So I'm really I can't not speak fondly of him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Mm.
Gotcha. I know what you're saying. So before we have to wrap this up, a couple of things. Where could our listeners, where could people find your films?
The best way to find out what I'm doing with my films and stuff like that is to go to Nathan Zen-Sapien, no dashes in, nathanzensapien.blogspot.com. You can also go to Nathan099 on YouTube, but you have to search through a lot of videos to get the actual videos or the actual film.
And you make it harder to get to it, these things. Could there be a dash? Could there be like a separation? Could there be a time frame that they have to wait to be able?
With the blogspot, there's no dash in the name. It's just nathanzensapien.blogspot.com. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. Sapien Films on Instagram.
Are you on social?
TikTok is Nathan Waire. My actual name, Nathan Waire. I think the other one is on Facebook, but the Facebook one you don't want to be bothered with too much. You know what I'm saying? It's just like friends and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like old classmates and stuff. Yeah, but it's like just like Instagram is probably the best one to catch me on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I do. We want people to follow you. And listen, being in the film business is not easy. I have a couple of friends who are also filmmakers, and I know what it's like. One of the things by working on that Scorsese film, he did hit me up. You know, not him personally, but his people. He has a friend who was nominated in 2016 for Best Short Film in the Academy Awards. And the guy his name was Mark, oh man, I'm getting a senior moment. Mark Raymond Wilkes. Mark Raymond Wilkes, and he was directing his first feature film, full-length feature movie. And they asked me if I would be willing to do it because they were shooting in New York. And I was like, I would love to do it. So I wound up taking a part in that movie.
Connections.
And it was really, really cool. But that's how the business works. It's like you You get it right, and that's why you always got to be nice to people, because a lot of times, like the PAs on a movie set, they're the future filmmakers, and it is not the cool thing to do, is to not treat these people or anybody. First of all, there's no advantage of treating people poorly anyway. But I mean, the people that I worked with in any movie set I've ever been on have always been really nice, very hungry, really wanting to get after it. But we do, listen, Nate, we wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors and films. And if that thing gets picked up, Human Game gets picked up, remember Jeffrey Cole. Remember that name.
You're on my mailing list right now.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, if you need a middle-aged, need a middle-aged Ford to be in your film, I'm your guy. Okay.
Or if you need, like,
Sean,
a not middle-aged, handsome devil, you know who to call.
Oh, wait, are you talking about Adam?
Oh, I shave. I'm completely shaved.
Sean,
it's like a fucking. It looks like it's like a toddler's fucking. Anyway, never mind.
if Nate
I couldn't get it out.
Nate winds up getting like big time financing for one of his films, and he goes, "Sean, I listen. We're doing the Grimace story, okay? And you'd be perfect to play. You'd be perfect to play Baby Grimace. All right?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so listen. You're getting paid. It's going to be a great payday, but you got to show some Sean Bush. Would you do?
Care. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
You'll go full frontal.
I'll show my asshole. I don't give a fuck.
No, we don't want that. No, full frontal.
I have no shame, dude. I don't give a fuck about anything. I don't. Of course, I would.
Wow.
Why wouldn't I?
I don't know. You're a braver man than I would.
Jeff,
You're like Richard Gere.
I'm blessed.
You're not me. I don't know. I think it's my very fast wit that keeps my wife with me. It can't be anything else.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not that either. It's just definitely the bank account.
I put you in a corner. You didn't know what to say right there, stupid.
Yeah,
all right,
thank you so much.
Nate, thank you so much for coming on.
Great.
We appreciate
it. Was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, right, man? This was. Oh,
it was a lot of fun.
No. It was cool, and like when I met you were nothing but a gentleman, and I appreciate you signed all the books for me. So I mean, I really do appreciate that.
Definitely.
All right?
You'll hear about next year.
Keep in touch, man. You got my information. Right. Keep in touch. Let us know what happens with you. Okay. Nice. All right. Good luck, my friend. All right. So take care, and we'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody.